Hello my loves, and thank you once again for joining me. Now a few videos back I did an everyday cat eye for you guys, just something that was very minimal, perfect for every day, and I said that I was gonna do a more dramatic liner look, and I tried, and this is as dramatic as it gets, guys. I was like, I'm gonna do something really edgy and dramatic and yeah, and this is what happened. I just don't think I have it in me to be that dramatic. I just created a more intense liner, a thicker line, a more extended line, and what I love about this look is the shadow. I'm gonna close my eyes. You can see it's got that peach sheen. And with the lips and the blush, it's just the look altogether is great. So let's get into it. I'm so excited for this look. I hope you guys love it, and if you want to see how I achieve this look, just keep watching. Of course, the first thing I'm going to do is prime my skin. It's called Invisibler Perfecting Shield. It's supposed to be a primer and SPF and all that stuff. Haven't tried it. I don't know if it's any good, but I guess we will try it today. I'm just going to get that on all over and just give it a moment to set. Moving right into the foundation, I'm going to be using the LC Cosmetics foundation. I'm going to grab my little beauty blender and just start stippling this into my skin. And I just realized I forgot to bring my concealer out, so I'll be right back. Just lay it down, and then I'm going to go in with my beauty blender and blend it all out. Like, why are you concealing your lip? And then just going in and extending this out to the very top part of my cheekbone. And then just into the forehead. Okay, now I'm pretty much ready to set all of this with my translucent powder. I'm going to use the Laura Mercier. This is just a really good standard powder. It's just going to go under my eyes. Pretty much everywhere I put the concealer. Alright, now we can move into some colors. My base is done. I don't know if I should apply my blush or my bronzer first. I always do it kind of differently. I guess maybe let's do my favorite bronzer, Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. And I'm just going to use that same brush that I used to apply the translucent powder. So it's just going to go... I just totally inhaled that powder. That was really weird. But it did taste like chocolate. So into my... I'm just a mess right now. There's a bug in here. Just going to go into my hairline. This is really just warming up my skin. And then the tip of my nose. So you can see that added a nice overall warmth to my face. And now I'm going to go in with my blush. This is a Sephora color and it's called Rose Glow. So I'm going to take my Morphe brush and just start applying in circular motions. And the best way to apply blush, in my opinion, is just to hold it like really lightly and just use the very tip of the brush to get that color onto your cheeks. Otherwise, you might end up getting too much color. So again, just little circle motions. Alright, that's looking pretty good. One final thing I want to do for the face before I move on to the eyes is apply my highlighter, and I found a new one that I really like. It's by Makeup Forever. They actually just sent me a bunch of their spring makeup, and I'm going to do a write-up on my blog just reviewing it very soon. And this is one of my favorite products that they have. This is their highlighter and sculpting duo. So I'm just going to grab my fan brush and start applying this at the high points of my cheeks. So I'm going to work that into the space above my arches. Okay, so this is another reason I love using the Beauty Blender. Once I'm done with my skin, I can kind of take a look at it and see if I've maybe put on too much blush and just start to diffuse it, or if I have too much highlighter, kind of erase that. It's just a good tool. It's my favorite for the face. Alright, that's it for the face. We can move on to the eyes. Alright, you know the drill. I've got one eye done and I'm going to show you how to do it on the other eye, beginning with my primer. I'm using the Smashbox 24-hour primer. This is a really good one. It's just colorless and it has a very velvety soft feel to it. It doesn't dry out my lids. And again, I really only concentrate that in the crease. Now I'm using very few shadows and I'm going to be using my LORAC MegaPRO palette, which I don't think I've used in a video before, and if you guys have it, you are lucky gals, because this was limited edition and it's never being sold ever again. But the good news is, in one of my last videos, I tested out this thing that I've been wanting to do where I list a bunch of drugstore affordable alternatives to some of the more expensive stuff that I use in videos in a blog post, and so many of you loved that idea. The feedback was really great, so I'm going to continue to do that for every video where I'm using mid to high priced items. So I'm going to give you some alternatives for this if you don't have it. Now the first color that I'm using is called Apricot. It's this beautiful, slightly shimmery, light peachy color. And to apply, I'm just using a smaller blending brush, and that's just gonna go right at my lid. And I'm sort of pressing it in so the color shows up nice and rich. And now before I move on to a slightly darker color in my crease, I do want to add a little bit of a lighter shadow at my brow bone, just so it makes it a little bit easier to blend once I get that darker color in there. So I'm going to use a combination of these two colors, Fawn just above my crease and then Cream closer to my actual brow. So let's start with Cream first. I'm just going to work that in just so it brightens a little, and then take Fawn, which is more of a nude shade. Alright, now moving into that crease color. I didn't want to make it too dark because I didn't want it to look like a cut crease look. I just wanted it to sort of contour the shape of my eyelid. So I'm going in with this color right here. It's called Sepia. And I'm just going to take my Morphe blending brush, one of my favorites. This is 441. And just with the very tip of the brush, I'm just going to start applying that into the crease. And then start blending it in small circle motions. And you guys will notice most of the time when I do my crease color, I never take it down to the outer corner of my eye. I usually just kind of blend it out like that, just because it makes my eye look more kind of turned up a little bit and also more awake. Alright, now I'm putting the MegaPRO palette away and I'm taking one single eyeshadow from Makeup Geek. It's called In the Spotlight. The minute I swatched it, I was like blinded. It was the most shiny, gorgeous shade of like a light frosty pink that I'd ever, sorry, not pink, peach that I'd ever seen. It's a foil shadow, so it has that super metallic appearance to it. So I'm going to take this, and I'm not going to use it wet, because if you use it wet, it's going to be like chrome. It's just going to be too shiny, in my opinion. So I'm just going to take a small blending brush, and this is the kind of color that you want to add gradually, just because, like I said, it can be like really intense. So I'm just going to apply a little bit at a time, starting at the very center. I'm taking this all the way into the crease too, just kind of blending it out. So again, being really conservative about how much I'm applying, because I don't want it to end up being too much. It's always easier to build than take away. Okay, now I'm ready for the eyeliner. I'm using a liquid liner, which you probably know that I pretty much never use. Frankly, it's because it is hard for me to use it. I find it much easier to use a gel or cream liner as opposed to a liquid liner. This stuff is just, it's got a mind of its own. I typically prefer not to use it, but I know some of you like to use it, so I figured I would do this video with a liquid liner. Here goes nothing. So I'm going to begin at the inner corner right here. And just very carefully looking down. Try my best not to totally screw this up. I like to kind of stop every like few millimeters and make sure I'm not doing a totally whack job. So now I can continue. You know what they say about liquid eyeliner. It can sense your fear. So anyway, I've mapped out a pretty good shape here. So I'm just going to follow through and kind of clean up the edges and fill it in. So again, I'm just kind of smoothing out any jagged edges. And then of course I want to make sure that the wing is as long and as thick as the other side. And just thicken it up a little bit more. So that's the thing with me and a winged liner. Most of the time it's pretty much a crapshoot. It's either gonna turn out great or it's not. This one turned out just a bit thicker than this one, but if you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. Next step, I'm going in with my Too Faced mascara. This is one of my favorites. It gives me really good results, nice volume and length. And then I'm gonna hit those bottom lashes as well. Now I know some of you are not fans of false lashes, so if that's you, then you can just stop right here. You've got your mascara on, you're done. But if you do like wearing false lashes, I know a lot of you do, I am wearing this new pair that I discovered by Allure. It is the number 117, and this is what it looks like. I just think it's a beautiful, really, really natural looking pair, and it's got a super thin band, so it makes it comfortable to wear. And I use very, very little of the lash adhesive just because I don't like the residue it leaves behind, so when you use a tiny amount it glues and stays put, but it doesn't leave any of the glue residue. One final step for the eyes, I'm going to take my NYX brow gel. It's like a medium brown, and this is going to lighten my brows just a tad and also fill them in very, very slightly. Alright, last step, the lips. I'm going to go back to a classic favorite, the Galactic Gloss in Just Nude. It's a nice opaque gloss, so you really don't need much with this. So I'm just going to apply by itself. And that is it, you guys. I went into this wanting to create another liner look, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. And actually, I think this is one of my favorite looks I've created. I just really love that peach shine at the center of the lids. I really hope you guys loved it too. If you did, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you think. And of course, give me more suggestions in the comments. And yeah, I love you so much, and I'll see you next time.